My YouTube feed keeps popping up with things like why I retired early, why you need to retire early, how I retired at 55, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's always listening, isn't it? But most of us can't retire in our 50s. Generally, most of us just can't. We can't afford to. But I don't know what they're pumping out. Water, I imagine. But we can change our lives. So it's now November. Last January, I decided I've got to make life changes because, as well as the business I run, we took over, my wife and I, another business a few years before, and it impacted so heavily on our lives with other life things that go on in your life. It impacted so heavily. I had to say this winter just gone, around January time, I've got to make changes, big changes, before I actually crack. And it probably wasn't necessarily all the stuff I was having to do. It was probably more a case of all the stuff I was now unable to do because of all the stuff I was having to do. It was kind of like I was losing the ability to cope with all the stresses of what we had going on in our lives because I hadn't got a counter to that, no yang to the yin. So my passions in life, for many, reptile hunting. I love being out in the natural world looking for snakes and things here and abroad. But falconry, since I was a teenager, has been my overriding passion. And it's a winter pastime, and it's a every single day pastime to do it right. Fishing of all kinds, especially pike fishing in the winter, was something I've been doing my dad since a little kid, and all the way into, certainly well into my 20s, but falconry sort of took over everything, as it does. But I just hadn't got time. Here's the irony: the business we took over is running a falconry centre on top of our actual full-time jobs, and my other business, my wife's a nurse. No time for falconry, not to do it properly. And if you don't do falconry properly, like a lot of things, it's rubbish. And if it's rubbish, you get very disheartened with the thing you're most passionate about. No time, I haven't been fishing forever. So no outlet. But how do you get all those things back when your work life especially is so busy and you just hanker after retirement? I hear men say to me, and I've had men say to me this, for many years, "Oh, I'll retire in a few years." "Oh, do you? Wow, don't look old enough." Well, I'm not very old. I'm only 55, but yeah, I'm retiring, but I'm really worried. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I literally just want to punch them in the face. Don't know what you're going to do. Christ alive, if I retired today with enough income to sort of plod along, my days would be full to bursting with everything I want to be doing that I'm unable to do at the moment because of work. My days would be full, but they'd be full, a lot of it working, doing stuff around the stuff I want to do. So how long since I just came for a walk with a dog on my own? My wife's at work, bless her. I've got a day off, into the countryside. Well, I couldn't tell you when it was. That's how long ago. Just going out. I live 5 minutes from here. It's not like it's a major ordeal. I drove 5 minutes down the road, jumped out the van with a dog, and here we are. How do you change that? Can you change that? Have we got to wait till retirement? Well, I hope not, because, guys, I'm never going to retire. I don't have a pension pot. Well, I suppose I will, but I don't have a pension pot where I can retire early. If there's ever a government scheme in the future where I can actually retire on a state pension, I'll be very poor, but I guess I will. Just turn you around, guys. Common buzzard up in the tree there. And just a variety of common waterfowl. But look at that. So yeah, I can't retire. I've got no plans. I can't tell you how you can retire early, but I can certainly tell you we can all make massive changes to live a life where we can actually do stuff again and chill out you know, semi-retirement while you're at work kind of thing. Get your life back. There's nothing else. There's nothing else. No good saving up and working all the time, thinking you're going to have some amazing eternity of life at retirement age, doing all you want, because either you'll be dead before you get there and someone else will spend that money for you, or of course, you'll be too decrepit to do all those dreams you dream of. Got to make the dreams real. So I made these decisions, and work-wise, stop being such a control freak. I think things need to be perfect if you're doing anything. You need to strive for perfection. Doesn't mean you'll ever get there, but that's how you make things good and you do a good job at stuff. It was to step back, not keep my finger on the pulse as much as on this second business. Let the team there do it and try and step in when, you know, things were really not how I want them, rather than what they would think is nitpicking, but me trying to run everything how I would run it if I was doing the work there. Like my own business, you know, I want everything perfect. If you're going to be professional, you need to take that professional attitude. But it's a step back, not to be so controlling. Let the team do their thing. Not be there every day, even after work, but not be there every day. Not start doing all the renovations and repair work on the property as soon as the winter season came, when we have less customers, less of the public. Not to just crack on all winter long, not having any fishing or falconry, because it's all about renovating as it is a falconry centre, but you know, the business. Can I pretty much make note of what needs doing? I don't mean critical stuff, but renovations and, you know, making the place up to date and keeping things fixed up. Can I make a note and just make sure I get them all done, maybe in a condensed month before we reopen in the spring, that kind of thing. Not worry so much. My main business is visiting schools, and it's at the quietest ebb. It took 3 years to build it up, but it's probably as quietest it's ever been in sort of 16 years. Never done any marketing after the first 3 years, and I do need to do some more. But in its peak, because I pulled back after COVID where I went, in its peak, I was out every single day and often visiting 2 schools a day, and doing shows and things at the weekend. I won't do that anymore. We don't need half of the money we chase. And I'm now at a phase of my life because I spend money like water. I spend money like water. I need that for the business. I'll get it overdrawn, credit card, whatever. I need that tool. I don't like doing stuff without the right tools. I need that thing. I'll get it. Well, I've sort of done that now for long enough, but also I don't need all this stuff I spend money on. My wife's the complete opposite. I'm a lucky husband. She's the complete opposite. England is beautiful, you know, even though I don't like the grey gloom. It is beautiful in the countryside and it clears your head, so go out for God's sake. But she, you know, 20 quid to me is like, you know, yeah, have that, mate, if it helps you. My wife's, I don't know, she can sort of make 20 quid do what I'd do with 100 quid. She's one of those sort of people, you know, she's very clever with money. Another buzzard over there, look, common as muck nowadays. She's really good with money, so I'm trying to take a leaf out of her book. One thing I did to her, I said, look, go through my account, my main account, because she's like, oh, you just waste money all the time. And even she did actually say, do you know what, you don't, yeah, I'll take it back a bit. You spend a lot of money, but I can see you spending it on the business and doing stuff we need. Not too as much willy-nilly wasteful as I thought you were, Dave. But I'm going to start getting really critical. I need to drum up more work because I'm earning too little money just to survive. But I'm never bothered now about working 7 days a week or 5 days a week. I need to earn enough. We all need to earn enough. You know, the whole living the good life. I love the sound of that. Me and my wife would love to do that, you know. Live off the land, meat and veg, easy. Have a massive vegetable pot, have some chicken, so on. But the reality is, certainly in the UK, you can't do that without money. Even that, you can't. We all need a vehicle, really. That's got to be looked after. It's got to be insured. It's got to be taxed. you just, bartering or not, you just got to have some sort of money here in the UK, really, to live sort of sensibly and to have a life that I'd like, you know, which even if it's minimalist. But I'm certainly now cutting down on stuff, which I've been doing a while, but you can really cut down on stuff and increase doing, not having. And as you get older, a lot of us do realise that we've all got enough stuff, but we want to be doing stuff, making memories, living your life. I've been doing office work all day. My eyes are strained, my head's strained. And as much as I like a blue sky and the sun out, whatever time of year, that's how I feel. So nice to be out under the trees and by the water. So the point of this video, think about your life. You probably can't look at early retirement any more than I can. Maybe you can do a side hustle, do something a little bit self-employed, something that maybe you can push on to do and ditch the job you do that you don't even like going to, which is most people. I'm fortunate, I like going to do my job, I just have better things I'd rather be doing. Can you do a little side hustle, buy and sell, something online, something you enjoy? But my advice would be, because here I am, don't start a business around the thing you love doing the most that you already don't have time to do, unless you can be sure it will benefit you doing that thing in a pleasurable way. Because it's easy, which I never wanted to do, believe it or not, it's easy to actually make a business out of something you're passionate about. And if you do it well, it becomes so much of a thing that it prevents you from doing the thing you're really passionate about. It impacts on it in a negative way. How ironic, but it's a well-known thing, isn't it? Don't mix business with pleasure. I technically pay people to train and fly birds of prey. Passion of mine since I was a lad. And instead of me training them, which is the best bit for most falconers, is the training of a new clean slate. You know, it's your work, how you train that amazing raptor. I pay people to do that while I genuinely spend my time at a falconry centre fixing, making, maintaining, mowing. Oh, the irony. And even in the winter, I can't practice falconry how I want. This year, possibly none at all, because my falconry business takes up way too much time. I've backed off. I've let my other business slow down too much. Now I've got to work the other way. And I'm just now, from January time to November, I'm just now managing to kind of reap the rewards of that. Why am I walking down the local river? Because I bought a fishing rod, spinning rod, some lures, a reel, etc. last week. I'm actually going to buy a rod license for the first time in ages. And when I have got an hour or two like today, which I'm going to make happen way more often, I'm actually going to come along and do some fishing. And I can tell you now, whether you fish or not, fishing is one of the most soul-preserving things a person can do. It truly is. So how can you achieve this goal? I think go through your bank account, look at what you do actually spend money on over a month. How much of it is just stuff? Do you need your Amazon Prime account with all that, all that rubbish on TV? I don't, so it's going. It's not a lot a month. Complete waste of space. Don't need it. All the stuff on Amazon all the time for work. I don't need to go on a TV channel where half the stuff now you have to pay for extra anyway. I don't need it. It's ridiculous. We just get sucked in. Loads of little things like that. But, you know, do you need to get a new vehicle because yours is 3 years old and it's done 80,000 miles? It's going to do 250,000 miles easily if you've been doing those oil change services just a bit ahead of time, and probably a lot more than that. Oh, Dave, it needs a new alternator. It needs this. Yeah. Work out the cost of keeping your 4, 5, 6, whatever year old car on the road over a year, if it's not a rust bucket, and then look at the actual cost of leasing a new one or buying a new one. And if you're buying a new one or leasing it, don't just look at the cost of your monthly payments, look at the cost of depreciation, the money you're going to lose after 3 years. You don't need to have it. And how do you avoid this? Well, how do you avoid this trap? Real easy. Stop being one of the Joneses. It doesn't matter what anyone, apart from your absolute loved ones, think about you. It doesn't matter. Next door neighbour's got a Porsche. Yeah, but he's got it on HP. He's leasing it. It's not his. It's through the company, whatever. Who cares? You can't drive a Porsche in the UK any faster than you can drive an old Morris Minor now. You just can't. Those days have gone, racing on the road. Unless you live up in, way up in Scotland, you're not going to go any faster. Things like that. Do you need all this claptrap? We're so worried. I watched another thing on YouTube recently. I don't quote me on statistics, but it was something like, if you win big on the lottery, there's 4 times more chance that your neighbours will go bankrupt. That's how sad society has become, of keeping up appearances, keeping up with your neighbours. You're going to end up going bust trying to keep up because the guys next door have won the lottery and now they can spend and have much more than you can. It's all irrelevant. This is relevant. Getting outside with your kids and getting them off a screen so their minds don't blow at the age of 2 years old. I go to school for a living. Babysitting your kids on an iPad from day dot of their life, wiring their brains up wrong. They're nothing like they should be. It's your fault. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. It's your fault your kids have gone like that because you've not given them time, you've given them an iPad. We're missing out on everything now because of our stupid attitudes. And it really is the attitude of having stuff for whatever reason, mostly because you feel you should to keep up with everyone else. How ridiculous have we become? So look at what you're spending, really what you're spending. That's a big step. But the biggest step, of course, is trying to be content. And that is way harder for most of us to achieve than you might first think. Because once you're content with most of what you have and you stop that awful addiction of wanting, you can make a lot of changes. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Reduce the wanting, which mostly of that means spending a lot of money or continually spending money. The whole marketing, the whole economies of the world are now driven by spending, marketing, consumerism. So we're being brainwashed into it more than we ever have in humankind, more than ever. It's in our nature, but we are sucked into it now like absolute fools. And if you can somehow want to do way more than want to have, your life will change. And your life, while still at work, because you can now really look at how you reduce your work, will change. Even if you can't retire just yet. Now, if you've got any common sense, there's going to be an element of you that says, okay, Dave, but even if I want to start doing again and stop having and wanting so much, well, even if I do that, the stuff I want to do is going to cost me money, which means I've got to just constantly work, which means I won't have time for the do anyway. I had motorbikes as one of my other passions, fast super sport type bikes. Got another one this year. But I didn't spend 10 grand on it. I spent a few £100 on it, and not a lot more, a few £100 of my time and love and passion and knowledge, just renovating it. Now it was road legal and road worthy when I got it, but just, you know, full service, all the stuff that needs doing over time. Now this bike's 25 years old. It's a GSXR 750 K model, if that means anything to you. It looks as good as any new modern super sport bike. It's cost me hundreds, not thousands of pounds. Now yes, to ride that bike, it's still faster than anyone ever needs anywhere, apart from a Isle of Man TT racer, but it's, you know, it's got the looks still, it's got all the power. Yes, it still needs money to insure it, money to tax it and fuel it, but what a reduction from having those things, plus you've spent 10, 20 grand because you want the latest and greatest, like your neighbour who can't ride a bike anyway. This is the thing, I know doing costs money, but it doesn't have to cost you. I've just bought a fishing rod and reel for the first time in decades. My wife was buying stuff on Temu. I said, I'm going to look through for a telescopic rod, reel, lures, landing net, 25 or 27 quid for the lot. I thought it would be a piece of old monkey metal rubbish. It's actually ridiculously, and it's stupidly good for the money. Shows how much really we're ripped off for profiteering here in the UK. I don't need the latest stuff. I don't care if you've got the latest stuff. I'm going to get as much enjoyment fishing with that kit that's cost me under 30 quid than I would if it cost me 3 grand. I truly am. We lose sight of this in the desire to have and want, and it's because we've pushed it on the media. I'm not, but if you're really into football, a season ticket at depends where you live, at your local team is going to cost you phenomenally less than a season ticket at a Premiership team. It just is. You can still watch those on TV, but if you want to go every weekend and watch good footy or footy, you'll still get the thrill and the passion. We don't have to have the latest and greatest stuff. I've 100% got to the stage now. My van's now 6 years old. It's the only vehicle I've ever had from new. Someone bought it for me, really. It's the only vehicle I've ever had from new. It's a Ford. Also, I'll never have another Ford anything. They don't rot like they used to. I've looked after it. It's done 125,000 miles without a glitch. If it doesn't rot away and I can keep it on the road sensibly, I don't care if I don't ever have another vehicle. It does everything I need. It looks great. The cost of maintaining it is going to be way less than the cost of a brand new, nearly 50 grand now Ford Custom van. We're sold on this, that latest and greatest model we sold you last year that was the best in the world, the best looking, the best everything. We're sold on this 2 years later of, well, yours is just old now, it's old fashioned. This is the latest and greatest. This is the one you should have. What is wrong with us? Cut back on all that crap in your life and start living your life, not just having stuff in your life. For me, I'm not a religious person. This is me being in heaven. This is my heaven, and the more time I can do this, the better for my soul. If I can engineer my life to do what I want to do, as well as work, so can you. Just make those changes that seem big, they're not. See you soon.